Good evening, everyone. Today I'd like to talk about dogs, some of their traits and differences between dogs and humans. Last weekend I was playing with my friend's dog at the park, and we would throw the ball and the dog wouldn't find the ball, even though it was a very bright colored ball, and he wouldn't see it amongst all the leaves. So that made me think about all the different traits and about dogs' vision. I researched online to see if dogs are really colorblind, and what I found is that they actually see 20% less color than we do. But their eyes are 5 times more sensitive to light than those of humans. This difference between the color range that dogs can see is because they only have two types of color receptors, which are called cone, and humans have 3 types. So humans can see; they have receptors for blue, green, and red, and dogs can only have receptors for blue and yellow. So their vision is not exactly black and white, but is not very far from that. Their field of vision, though, is much larger than that of humans, and they can more easily perceive motion. Those are very clearly hunting traits. During dusk or dawn, they can more easily see their prey moving around. In nature, the mantis shrimp is the animal that can see the most colors. He can see, he has 16 different types of color receptors in his eyes. But the full color vision happened very early in the evolution of animals. The problem is that mammals lost those receptors. They only stayed with 2 color receptors, and mammals later on acquired the 3rd color receptor. Learning all this really makes us wonder, why do they make so many dogs' toys that are red, seeing as dogs can't actually see the color red. And it explains also why they can't see when you throw a red ball in the green lawn. But their lack of vision compensates, their sense of smell compensates the lack of vision. So it's not very sad for the dogs or that they don't have a very good vision. They can smell, research says they can smell between 10,000 and 100,000 times more than humans. Their sense of smell is more sensitive. They can detect several different types of odors. In a book, Inside of a Dog, Alexandra Horowitz compares that to with sugar. She says humans can smell when there is a tablespoon of sugar in their coffee, but dogs can smell if there is a tablespoon of sugar in 1 million gallons of water, which is equivalent to 2 Olympic-sized pools. Dogs have 300 million olfactory receptors in their noses, and they can smell 40 times more than we can. They also have a different structure in their nose. They have a separation between the breathing and the smelling. So part of the air goes into breathing and part they smell. So they have a totally different organ for that. And also they have an organ that's called Jacobson's organ, or the vomeronasal organ, that it's like a second olfactory system, and this organ is only dedicated to smelling pheromones. If you're impressed with all those traits from dogs, you might also be impressed with the fact that dogs during their evolution they acquired several human traits, and that now they behave more like humans than like canines. For example, they can express jealousy, empathy, and they can really watch TV. So when you're watching TV and you're wondering if your dog is following that TV program, he most certainly is. They can also read facial expressions, and they also imitate some of humans' behaviors, like following the direction of in the way humans look. If you'd like to know more about the dog's perspective on the world, there are several authors who wrote books with the dog's perspective. Of course, this might not be very precise because they're not scientific books, but it might help us feel closer to our little animals. So you have a book that's called Timbuktu from Paul Auster. You also have A Dog's Life from N.A. Martin, A Dog's Tale from Mark Twain, that is from 1903, and A Dog's Purpose from Bruce Cameron. These books will help us feel more connected maybe to our little animals. And if you want to understand more the scientific side of dogs, you can read Inside of a Dog from Alexandra Horowitz, which I've already mentioned in this presentation. Thank you.